What's up YouTube? It's I with a boat, and today we will be going over Purple Black Zero Tenkuuha. This deck is ridiculous. You know, we just got into the season to where we don't have to worry about action spamming decks. You know, Ashura, Senku, Astalos has went away, but now we have a new threat, and you know, is it worse? Is it about the same? You know, you let me know. Me personally, I think in some cases it can be seen as a similar threat to like Astalos, Ashura, Senku, or maybe even better, because this deck kills you really quick and has a lot of answers just to say no. So without further ado, let's get into the deck overview. So here's the deck, and this is going to be the same exact deck in the meta snapshot. I will not take credit for this deck, because this, I think, it first started out with a player named Dango that designed this list, but the original hero that they played it in was Devil Trigger Dante. But then another player, I think it was the True Asian, you know, took upon the deck and then threw it onto Zero Tenkuuha, and then after sharing it with players, playing it over and over again, it made it into this rendition. I think that the renditions, they start to change now. Like, people are adding their own flavor, people are, you know, changing it up to how they like to play. But to be honest with you, even though I didn't build this deck, surprisingly, I resonate a lot with it. You know what I mean? I really like this version of the deck because it has everything that I want. It fits my playstyle. So let's get into like what this deck is. So the whole point of the deck is, you'll notice we only have 6 units, and that's very similar to, you know, Ashura, Senku, Astalos. That deck had like what, 4 or 5 units. This one only has 6, but it's still aggressive because we're playing the aggressive cards Trish, you know, and we're playing Sea Viper. So the common theme between these two units, and even like Ashura, Senku, like back in the day, is they were all Resonate units. So this kind of gives you the idea that Resonate is just a very powerful mechanic, and in this way we are abusing them very offensively. Also, shoutouts to K-Brad, because look at Trish. She looks great, and she's going to be winning us a lot of games. So Trish has +1/+1 Resonate, so every time we play in action, she's going to get +1/+1. This deck does very well at spamming actions, so you will see that a lot. We got Sea Viper also looking real great. You know, shout out to Sea Viper. Got the Resonate +2 HP. Now she doesn't gain attack, but she gains combo. But mind you, this combo is only effective for 1 attack. So after every attack you kind of want to play in action, that way she gains the combo. But she does gain more health than Trish. So in that sense, Sea Viper is pretty nice there. It really depends on the matchup, but when I look for my first unit, it's either going to be Trish or Sea Viper. I don't think it makes too much of a difference, except that if you're playing against Mono Red, then you definitely want the Sea Viper, because Sea Viper gains a lot of health, right? So if you're playing against Mono Red, you want to get that. But there are some strategies to where maybe you want to let the first one die and then play a Sea Viper later, because they just kind of burn a whole lot. But we'll get into that later. So we got Foresight, just a 1 mana card to help us activate Resonate and draw more cards. Got Hookshot, this lets us cheat the mechanics of the game. Allows us to be pretty much unblockable. Love that. Monstrous Virus is one of the most important cards to this deck. It is ridiculous. Being able to just, you know... So one of the themes about this deck is, I'm going to actually just show you all the black cards in our deck, like legitimately all the black cards in our deck, cut our health. And that's almost half of our deck. So almost half of our deck is cutting our health, and we don't have any ways to gain health in this deck. So this deck is really good at cutting yourself and, you know, making yourself put to low life. Your opponent doesn't need help killing you, but that's why we have Monstrous Virus. So instead of having a way to gain health, we actually have a way to just cheat death. So Monstrous Virus, when it goes off, we are immune to life damage, so we get 30 seconds of the game. 30 seconds of TEPPEN is a long time, because that 30 seconds can be, you know, just everything it takes to just take out our opponent. And our opponent can't do anything about it. They can't kill us. The only stipulation is if we don't kill our opponent in 30 seconds, we effectively lose the game. Maverick's Memory is a negate, and a lot of players, they'll try to use like the there's a card, it's called Hidden Intent, and they'll use that as a negate. But I prefer this one. It rewards patience a little bit more because you don't have to cut your health, but Hidden Intent makes you cut half your health to negate a card. It is saving you resources because it only costs 2 MP, whereas this one costs 3. But I think that as long as you are patient and save your MP, you should be able to use this card effectively and not have to cut half your health to use. So I like that one. Of course, you gotta have the Trish and the Sea Viper combo. And everything here is cutting health. So Heartless Experiment, another 1 mana card, but this one gives us attack. And that's gonna really help us resonate, grow, and deal more damage. This card is a new card to the set, and it is ridiculous. I do not like this card because of how powerful it is. In Magic's terms, this is very similar to like a Mox Emerald or Jet and all the Moxes, maybe even like Black Lotus, right? It's a card that if you have it in your hand, you can play it and then you just gain a straight up like MP advantage. There is a cost to it. You have to cut health and you have to remove cards from your deck, but the fact that you can just do it so very cheaply and just spam it at any time you draw it is kind of nuts. Especially with Resonate, we really take advantage of that. Bolt Reaver's Valor. This is a card that's really cool. You use it to just go in when you have 7 memory, because it'll have flight, agility, and 3 attack. And it's very cheap, only 2 mana. Summon minions is actually the way that we play our deck to make sure that we don't brick. So a deck with 6 units is usually very design poor, because if you don't draw the units, you lose. But because we have summon minions, it's like we have 9 units, because we can use summon minions to, you know, get the unit out and not have to worry. Another thing is like we have Foresight, so that helps us draw our deck, and then that way it gives us less of a chance of bricking, not being able to play cards. Bloodbath Frenzy. This card doesn't really get a lot of highlights. It does get highlights from the players that acknowledge it, but this card is ridiculous. The reason why it's so ridiculous is because of Memory 4 being able to perform a instant attack. Instant attack in TEPPEN's history has been one of the most broken mechanics, but very few cards have the ability to actually use it, and this is one of them. Right now, they did nerf Reckless Charge way back when, but this is actually the best way to do an instant attack. So not only do you gain like bonus stats, you get the spillover too, which, by the way, spillover with Sea Viper is ridiculous, because the spillover, it effectively doubles, quote unquote, so you get even more damage. That's why I like to play Sea Viper middle. Make sure that you always play the Sea Viper middle and then play like Trish top or bottom, because it'll set you up for the scenario where you can have spillover on Sea Viper and it'll effectively do a board wipe if need be. But the instant attack is really what you want, because it means that you can end a game with crazy stats at any time. But last but not least, the hero art, it is Tenkuuha. Give +2 attack and combo effective for 1 attack. And this is really cheap, it's like 18 AP. So really lets you close out a game. One thing I really want to touch up on is the shell of the deck has changed, but it always has to be a purple hero because of Monstrous Virus. Monstrous Virus can only be used with purple heroes, And I want to show you the other 2 decks that I got. They're actually just the same deck.
I appreciate a good thrill.
So I use it with Temptation Morgan, and it does work. I also use it with Double Trigger Dante. When you're going to Double Trigger Dante, though, I have a few tips. So Double Trigger Dante, if you're going to go with this deck list, it's really important that you know that, you know, Dango actually uses 2 different cards. I know he uses Devil Trigger, which is a legendary card, and then another card is Hidden Intent. You know, instead of using the Unforeseen Interference, we use Hidden Intent because it's, you know, costing less to use and activate, but it's there. Devil Trigger can use it more effectively because we can negate damage with Devil Trigger. Devil Trigger makes you immune to damage for 10 seconds and not to life sacrifice. So you will still lose the 15 health, you know, by using Hidden Intent. But the fact that you can just like ignore damage is pretty good. But I just use the same shell. It's very standard, very solid. But without further ado, let's get into some gameplay.
I will fulfill my duty as a Maverick Hunter.
Alright, we're getting into rank.
Target acquired.
Think you can dodge my kicks?
This is a really bad hand. Alright, nice. So I'm gonna go with Trish here.
Can't lose this.
And they already start off with the seals. That's green's counter to our deck is the seals. But we still have a 2/7, but I'm not gonna fret over it too much. I'm gonna play summon minions and hopefully they respond. If they respond, we get another summon minions, which means we get 2 units. Alright, they did not respond, that's okay. Just activate Black Crown's Madness, because, you know, why not? Free 2 MP. And this is what I'm talking about, you know? Just being able to get all this MP for free. It's ridiculous. I'm going to do Summon Minions. And we save a little bit of mana, you know? Gives us room for a negate. You know, that's how you're supposed to play it.
Just give up already.
I'm going to do this.
I'm gonna blow you away.
You're done.
We got the evasive action already. I don't know if I want to sacrifice. I think I do. Now we're just gonna do fight. We're gonna get this trade though. Oops! I guess we didn't get that trade. We tried for it though. We tried. Almost killed that feline. That's alright. It would have been way better to use on Sea Viper. Now that we can actually look at that. Let's go ahead and activate this. This will give us an instant attack and make Sea Viper bigger. And she has combos, so it's double damage. Check this out. Boom. Got him.
I can't lose this.
That is weird. They're gonna die to Sea Viper. I'm gonna activate this because we don't have combo yet, so I'm gonna get the combo, but we have mana for negate. That's not stopping me from winning the game, so I'm not gonna negate it. And we're about to win the game right here.
You're wasting your time.
Exact hold damage.
Surrender now.
Good game.
Swift and sure.
I also completely forgot that Tenkuuha gives combo. Completely forgot about that. So I guess we didn't have to play the action. We could have just let it rocked. But we had the negates, you know, if anything bad were to happen. We had it. It's very important that you establish your units first. Ooh, I wonder if this is Mono Red or Zombie Shinku, which is funny because the matchups are like completely different. Because Mono Red is just like burn everything to the ground, and then Zinku, the Zombie Shinku build, it's all about aggression, not necessarily killing your cards, although they do. All right. So I have 2 mana, and then I used 1 for Black Round's Madness, but it gave me enough mana to use a negate if anything was going to happen, which it didn't. I'm going to wait till 4, and again, still have 3 mana for the negate. Always make sure that you have over 1 mana of the card that you're playing to get that mana for negate. Again, negate. Oh, shoot. That is Wrath. Uh-oh. That is scary. Alright, I don't really have an answer to it. I can just try to outscale it. Hopefully they don't hit the Trish again. They hit the Trish again. Nice. Nice. Alright, we're gonna use Bolt Reavers. Our hand is getting really awkward here, but that's okay. We're gonna probably win with the Sea Viper. At least I thought we were. I might have to use the Monstrous Virus.
Can't afford to doubt myself.
I'm gonna activate this. I'm gonna try to clear their board. We're
We're
gonna do that. I'm gonna keep buffing. I'm gonna try and like kill their board. That's fine. We are getting big. This is like, see what I was talking about? Sea Viper. Spillover and combo. Busted. Look at that. Tell me that's not broken. Tell me that's not broken. And we got like all the negates for this guy. Oh my goodness.
You're wasting your
Oh
time,
my goodness.
okay?
Got him.
Swift and sure
Yeah,
victories
Zero
are
is a great hero art. Tenkuuha. Great hero art. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm just saying for this deck, it's perfect for the aggression. If you are an aggro player, this is what you want.
commencing battle
Uh-oh.
operation.
Playing against one of my clan mates. This will be interesting. I'm gonna go for Sea Viper here. Let's see if we can get some early damage in. Although I kind of doubt it. They didn't respond, so they probably have like something to kill it. Oh, they didn't? Wild. They might have Cruel Games. I don't know why they're not playing a unit. I think they're trying to Cruel Games me, because they lost some MP advantage. They did that. It's okay, we have summon minions now, so we can summon a new card. They're playing very defensively. Until they play units, I won't play a unit. There we go.
I'm gonna blow you away.
I'm telling you, something is up. Their hand is so weird. Their hand is so weird. I'm gonna buff. I'm gonna keep buffing. I'm aggressive. Let's go. Look at all this damage that's about to come through. I'm gonna activate this.
I'm gonna blow you away.
I think we're about to head into some shenanigans. Oh shoot. They got
Time to
us.
finish this. I'm gonna blow you away.
But I have a pretty good setup here.
You're wasting your time. Tenkuuha!
So that's how much damage? I think like 14. So he's at 1.
Discipline.
And then we have the negate.
Playtime's over.
Oh, he had the answer? I'm surprised. So we actually had the game, but he had the answer. Yeah, we can't do anything. But we were close. I'm glad I didn't win this one because that's my teammate and he was pretty high. But I'm glad we at least got it to a close game.
It seems it is time to retreat.
I do think that the mono black matchup is one of our worst matchups. But, you know, it's because of all the destroy that's there. Nice. So we were able to show like 2 really aggressive games, kind of show off the play style, and I'm glad we were able to lose at least 1 game because that shows like what are the problems that this deck can run into. In any case, let's talk about some closing tips. So again, talking about this deck, there's going to be a couple things I want to touch on. There's going to be a lot of different variations of this deck, and my complete honest answer to like, you know, what is the best version of this deck, if you're going to go with PB0 Tenkuuha, you know, I don't necessarily think it's the best, but it's the most aggressive version. I think the best version has to be the Devil Trigger version. And the reason why I think that this is the best version is because with Devil Trigger, it allows you to play more defensive, allows you to kind of go for like the late game. Because PB0 Tenkuuha, that deck always goes for the early game. But Devil Trigger allows you to go for the late game. So let's just give you an example. Is if your opponent is a deck that has like a lot of answers, like if it's green, it's going to be Seal, Evasive Action. You know, those are the problems you're going to run into. If it's going to be red, they're going to just be like, oh, let me burn all your cards. Then what you want to do is you want to play for the late game because, you know, they have 3 slots in the lanes for mono red. And then each time they play a card, they burn your card. So what you want to do is you want to lane lock them, make them play out all their cards, not kill their units, and then scale one of your units like mid-game, scale it up, do some direct damage with like Hookshot and Bloodbath Frenzy, make it unstoppable for the stats. If you put it outside of like kill range by increasing the stats so much, that goes a long way against the mono red matchup. Same thing with mono black. You know, it's really hard to win a game if they just like keep killing your units. But the fact that you can have Devil Trigger to like make the game go longer and then try and keep setting up, you know, just because your first setup, you know, fails doesn't mean that you lose the game. It just means that you have to keep trying and trying over again until, you know, you either win or you lose. And that's the thing about glass cannon decks. Glass cannon meaning that, you know, you either go off or you don't. You go home big or you go home. You go big or you go home. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, closing tips, make sure that you do combo and spillover mid with Sea Viper, because this gives you spillover. And we actually took out like a huge field. You saw that damage. That was incredible. Monstrous Virus, really important card, lets you cheat death, because you're going to be near death a lot with this deck. Make sure you always have 1 mana. So I'll give you an example, just to make the math even more clear. If you're going to play Foresight, which is a 1 mana card, make sure you have 2 mana before you play the Foresight. Because you spend 1 of the mana, and then you have 1 extra mana, but then you also get 2 mana for the action phase, so that gives you enough for 3, and that gives you the ability to negate anything your opponent might use to destroy your stuff, or to neutralize your stuff. But yeah, very straightforward deck, very aggressive, and I think it's actually pretty strong, like ridiculous. The biggest problem I have with this deck is probably the Monstrous Virus, because being able to just cheat death and be so aggressive is crazy. This is also a problem, in my opinion. Having instant attack for even 3 mana still is still very powerful. It's not as bad as it used to be. And then last but not least, I also think that this card is a problem, because you just straight up gain MP, and it allows you to abuse Resonate. So very, very powerful. But other than that, I think the nerfs to Zero and Tenkuuha, they're pretty balanced. I like it. But without further ado, if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to check me out on Twitter, feel free to check me out on IOTheBoat at Twitter. I'm also IOTheBoat on Twitch if you want to catch me streaming. And make sure to check the description below in every video, because I always have like some random stuff like meta snapshots, my new player guide, and this time around I'm going to actually put the TEPPEN glossary. Forgot to put that in last time. Alright, thank you again and enjoy. Let me know what you think about this deck.